Some people have seen where God has brought you from. You don't really understand it. They don't know your story.
You don't know
The
my
things.
story.
Good evening, GX family, here in the UK and all around the world. It is a pleasure to be here. How are you all doing? I'm doing great. Today's my birthday and I've been celebrating all day. So if you're out there, just send me some love, some birthday wishes, that would be great. I'm so grateful to be here, hosting my very own show, Michelle Hemmings Organ Donation Life Stories. Let me start off by telling you briefly about my journey and a bit about the show. So as you all know, my name is Michelle Hemmings, and I am one of the famous 5 who all had transplants, all within 36 hours 3 years ago. I was sick for about 22 years, and I was diagnosed with interstitial lung disease and mild pulmonary hypertension. And I was on oxygen for about 5 years, and I was constantly on oxygen for 2 years before my transplant. I am grateful to be here to raise awareness for organ donation and about my journey as well. God is good, don't you think so? Please send some love if you're all out there. Now, our guest has been waiting eagerly behind the scenes, and each week we're going to have a special guest on our show. So today we've got Ella Vine from the Kidney Foundation Association. I hope I said that right, but she will come on and explain anyway. Enjoy the interview. Any questions, just put your questions in the chat and we will try and answer them as quick as we can. So let us introduce and put on Ella Vine. Hi Ella.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me today in the show.
It's a pleasure. And you're looking so nice today. What have you been doing today?
It's been actually a very busy day for me as usual, working and family life. So that's what usually takes most of my time. I hope you can see me because at the moment I see black screen. So just to make sure it's okay.
I can see you perfectly. I can see you perfectly.
That's
if you can
good.
hear me, that's fine. Because I'm sure everyone can see you as well, because I can see you.
Okay, now I can see you. That's better.
Okay, great. Okay, let's start off. Can you introduce yourself, where you are in the UK, and a brief description of yourself?
Thank you for giving me that opportunity. So I'm Ella Vine. I'm a trustee of the Global Kidney Foundation. The Global Kidney Foundation is a charity based in the UK. We work nationwide. The head office is in Birmingham, although I live in Peterborough.
Okay, let's start off with, what is Global Kidney Foundation and what does it do?
So we help and support kidney patients, but not only. We also work to promote awareness of organ donation, and we do lots of different projects, events, and initiatives to promote organ donation. In the UK, we work closely with NHSBT, which is NHS Blood and Transplant, which is the England's body, NHS body that manages all organ transplants. We work with lots of different communities, faith groups, different churches, temples. We right now we cannot do because of lockdown, but before lockdown, and we hope to restart it when we'll be able to. We were also providing free community health checks, like health screenings, combining it as well with awareness raising of the importance of life-saving organ donation. And we are working with different groups, different communities on that.
Okay.
That is in a nutshell.
I'm sure there's more, but okay. If you've got more time towards the end of the show, you could talk a bit more about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is organ donation and transplantation?
Organ donation is where there's a person who had an organ failure, and organ failure means that it's irreparable, which means the only way to save life and the person then is to do organ transplant. And so there are two types of organ transplant. One is what we call deceased organ transplant. So when a person dies and the person is on the NHS organ donor register list, they can be organ donor if the family will get that family supports the organ donation. There is also living organ donation, and living organ donation is for kidneys only and for liver. I was at first when I started doing this work, I was like surprised why leaving a liver donation. How come we only have one liver? You know, we have two kidneys, so we can donate a spare kidney and we can function perfectly fine with one kidney. But actually, with the living liver donation, there's only like a small part of liver that is being taken from one person and transplanted it to the person, the other person who is sick, and it saves life. So that is also possible. And with living organ donation, it usually happens when there is a family member, or a friend, colleague who had liver or kidney failure, and then their loved ones or friends decide to be living donor. So after test, if they match, if they can be the donor, that donation goes ahead. But there is also something called altruistic donation. So sometimes people want to donate the kidney, but they actually don't know anyone. They can just contact NHS or even ask Global Kidney Foundation, and then we can point them, in the right direction in NHS BT. And they can be like what we call altruistic organ donors, where the donation goes ahead and they don't know the other person, but it still saves lives.
Okay. And does it matter about the age? Can you be
Not at all. Not at all. Even children and young babies can be donors, after they pass away. And there's been a lot of situations like that. One organ donor can save up to 9 lives.
9 lives? Yes, definitely.
And that is amazing. And plus, on the top of saving lives, some tissues can be used, like skin and other tissues, to not necessarily save life, but to improve life, to help other person who needs that. So it's actually many more people they can help. And there were some unfortunate situations when a child died, and the child was eligible to be organ donor, and the parents very generously and kindly agreed for the child to be organ donor, and the legacy of these children lives on, because the parents later get to know in what way their child saved life, like how many children are alive because of that. So it really can help parents in this situation.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so why do we need people to be organ donors?
Why? Sorry.
Why do we need people to be organ donors?
Oh yes, it's because unfortunately every week in the UK somebody dies waiting for an organ transplant, and that is completely unnecessary. Because if all of us were actively supporting organ donation and were on the NHS organ donation list, that would not happen. So this is completely unnecessary for people to be dying waiting for organ, especially in these days and times. And also it's because we never know what will happen to us or to our friends or families or neighbors. So by being organ donor and actively supporting it, talking to our family so that they know about our choice, we protect our community. We help everyone, because everyone at any point can need organ transplant. So we help our communities, our families that way.
That's why we need to have that conversation with our loved ones. Just sit down and have that discussion about what we want for the future. But yeah.
Definitely, it's because even if we are on the NHS organ donor register and we want to be organ donors, when this would happen, the NHS will always ask the family. So the family decision can be final, and if the family don't know that we want to be organ donors, so if they're unsure, they may say no, or if they have any doubt, that might be faith-based, cultural based, different, there are different myths going around. So that's why it's important that we inform our family and we talk to them as well, and then we ask them if they want to be organ donor as well. And then if they have any doubts, you can always contact us at the Global Kidney Foundation. We can answer any questions.
Okay, and at the end of the show, you can give out your contact details.
Definitely, I hope at the end of this program I am not that tech savvy, that's possible. Or if you just Google Global Kidney Foundation, you will find us, easily.
Okay, thank you.
And follow us on social media as well, because we're very active. Every day that I post on social media, we're going to post a link to this interview as well later on. Maybe, yeah.
Okay, great. Right. Do you know any personal? Do you know anybody whose lives that was saved by transplant?
Well, yes, for a starter, Zahid Bhatti, who is a gentleman who founded the Global Kidney Foundation. He had two kidney transplants. Before the kidney transplant, he was on dialysis for a few years. And, when people are on dialysis, they're really unwell, they feel really fatigued, life is not the same, and they have to spend many hours every week in a hospital or on dialysis. And Zahid had two transplants. The first transplant he had, it was his brother who from Pakistan to the UK to donate kidney. So his brother was a living donor, which is an amazing, gift of life and an amazing donation. So after the second transplant, when Zahid was feeling so much better, energetic again, he wanted to give back to the society, and he founded this charity a few years ago. So he's a very inspirational person, and he does a lot of work for the community. Since then, he's very active, and his life has been completely transformed thanks to the transplant.
Definitely.
And obviously, Michelle, you as well, you have a very inspirational story, really inspirational story as well.
You.
So it's been so nice to know you, and to hear your story, and to seeing you being so active, so active, doing all these amazing things.
I feel like I can't stop.
That's good.
Thank you. Okay. So how can anybody register to become an organ donor? So if anybody's out there, how did they become an organ donor?
So exactly a year ago in April, the law in England changed, and then we are automatically organ donors now. Although there is still lots of work to be done for people to be supporting organ and understanding organ donation. So now we have the law that is called opt-out system, which means that we are automatically on the organ donor register, and people can opt out not to be organ donor. And unfortunately, we know that lots of people opt out from different fears, different myths, and as I say, the different cultural backgrounds, like families telling each other, and then so there's still a lot of work to be done on that, because we want everyone to be on the organ donor register. Everyone can be organ donor, so it's not just age. The oldest organ donors were like over 100 years old, because some people say I'm too old, they will not need me, or I'm too unhealthy. But no, we need everyone.
Every organ is checked before it goes into a person anyway.
Exactly. Before being organ donor, this person is being tested. So actually, from all those people who die, there's only tiny percentage. I think it's like 1 or 2% of people who can be organ donors, because there are lots of things that need to be checked, circumstances as well. So there's like only small percentage of people who can be organ donors. That's why we need everyone to be on
Yes.
the organ donor register. And I think especially in the current pandemic times when lots of people are ill with lung disease, I think that's even more important.
Yes, it is, definitely. Thank you. Okay, can I donate anything while I'm alive, or can anybody donate while they're alive?
Yes, so this is the living organ donation that I spoke before.
Yes.
So it's a kidney or a part of liver we can donate, and we're absolutely fine after that. So as I say, we can help our friends and family that way, but lots of people, becoming altruistic organ donors where they just want to donate, let's say, a kidney, so they can contact NHS, and then they will go through the process of testing, like rigorous testing before that can actually happen. And this can be a really life-changing decision because uh, doing any voluntary act, any charity act,
Mm-hmm.
any type of helping a person, you feel good. So it's
Yes, yes.
that is really a yes, feel good feeling.
Okay, thank you. Do I need to carry, or does anybody need to carry an organ donor card?
Not really, because not a lot of people receive organ donor card. I'm on the NHS organ donor register for like years. I don't think I ever received the card. Many years ago, it was like, but still, when people were getting their driving license, they were also getting the card. But no, but you don't have to have the card because it's just like an electronic NHS organ donor system, so they can easily check it whenever, if that situation comes, whether that person is on the organ donor register or no. But the important thing is as well to talk to our family so they know about our choice. That is, yes, that's important.
Okay, thank you. And does my religion or anybody else's religion, faith, or belief system permit organ donation?
There is no major religion that would forbid organ donation. Actually, it's the opposite because all major religions talk about helping other person, and we know at our charity and as we work with NHS and other partners that there are still sometimes like fears. I would say they're just fears, because there is a lack of knowledge. So there are different fears that are in the community about that. But one of our trustee, who is professor nephrologist, who's been working all his life in this area, he told me something that really sticks in my mind. He said something whenever he talks to people, he goes to different churches, different temples, to mosques, different places, and then he talks to people. And whenever there is that question about, does my religion support organ donation? And he says that he doesn't know of any religion that says that you can take but don't give. So, for
No.
example, if you would have transplant for yourself or your child or your
Mhm.
your family or your husband,
Yes.
to save their lives, why wouldn't you give when it's necessary, when the time comes to help
I
others? So
agree.
I think that's a very powerful point, that there is no religion that says that you can take but don't give.
Okay, thank you. Okay, how can I make sure that my faith and beliefs will be respected if I am an organ donor?
Okay, so recently NHSBT, so the body that manages all organ transplants in England, they've added to the registration online or like paper registration, organ registration list, a question that is not compulsory to answer, but people can do if they want to, that they can pick which religion they have. What that is for, this is only when it will come to that time where this person can be organ donor, and there's that talk with family that an NHS nurse will have who is trained in organ donation, that they will already know what is the religion, what is the background, so they will be prepared, how to talk to the family in a way that is supportive, that is understanding, so that is just optional, but people can do it. At the moment, it is optional anyway to register on the NHS organ list because we are already there. But we can still go online. It takes 2 minutes, and we can confirm our decision. This is important because the date will be recorded when we confirm. So, for example, this is like another confirmation for the NHS and family that this person really wanted to be organ donor because they actually confirmed, they didn't have to, but they confirmed. So we can tick that box, or we can answer what is our religion. But even if not, and when it comes to this difficult situation that the NHS nurse is raising the subject of organ donation, in appropriate circumstances only, when the person can be organ donor with the family, they're always trained in talking in the really respectful way about the religious as well, like expectations of family.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Is the faith and belief questions mandatory?
That's what, yes, because I sent you some questions.
Yes, yes.
It's not mandatory, so it's good to explain why they're not there for some kind of checking or statistics or something else. They're just there. So when it comes to that situation, that moment when the nurse will talk to the family, they're already prepared because they're different information leaflets and brochures produced by an HSBT. Explaining all the major religions and what major religions, so for example, like Quran and Bible, what they actually say, So these are very helpful resources for anyone who wants to know more.
Great, thank you. And can you just tell us a bit more about the opt-out system in England again, please?
So the opt-out system is where we are already automatically on the NHS organ donor register, which is great.
Yes, it is.
But it gives the opportunity for people to sign to opt out, not to be organ donor, and some people do that still because there's just lack of information. So that's why it's important to raise awareness, to talk to our friends, as normal as everyday talk. I'm organ donor. I really support organ donation. Do you? And because it's a really a great thing to talk about. It's a positive thing, to be supportive, to be an organ donor. So it's a subject that we can talk to anyone. And if there are any misconceptions, if any of our listeners will have any questions, they can always get in touch with us or NHSBT. As I said, there's lots of literature, like more in depth, or we can answer any questions if anyone has any doubts. It's important that everyone is organ donor and that they talk to their family, because difficult actually to be an organ donor, is only like very small percentage of people can be. So that can mean, that one person who will opt out or not, that can mean, life saves. It really makes a difference.
Great, thank you. All right, can you tell us how we can get in touch with yourself?
So you can find us on social media. We're very active on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Or you can just Google Global Kidney Foundation, or our web address is also very simple because it's www.gkf.org.uk.
Okay, and can you say that again, please?
www.gkf.org.uk. So GKF stands for Global Kidney Foundation.
Great, thank you. Okay, that's all. And thank you ever so much for being on my show and answering some of the questions that most people are asking themselves. But thank you for being here. It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk about this very important subject, and I hope that we have inspired listeners, really inspired listeners. Oh, thank you. There's a link, I see.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, then. I would like to say a big thank you to our special guest, Ella Vine, and I hope you all enjoyed the interview. I thank God by Donna and the Royal Papworth Hospital each and every day for my special gift of life. God bless you all. Thank you for listening and watching my first show. I hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you all next week with my special guest. But before I go, I'd just like to read a couple of words of encouragement. Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Some people have seen where God has brought you from. You don't really understand it. They don't know your story.